What is up, everybody? This is your boy AJ Trip, and welcome to the Game According to Me. This is not only the podcast version, but this is also the YouTube version. So, if you are watching this on YouTube or if you're listening on my podcast, whatever you may go, however you want to do it, I thank you guys so much. We are going to go over the college football presentation, I guess you could say. We're gonna do our preview. We did it last year. We're gonna do it this year, and hopefully do it from this going forward into the future. I'm gonna give you my predictions on who I think will make the college football playoffs and who I would think who will win the college football playoffs. I will give you my prediction for the Heisman Trophy winner, and I will also give you the prediction of the local teams if one of the local teams is not in the college football playoffs. I am based out of Chicago, Illinois, so we've got Northwestern, we've got Illinois, we've got Northern Illinois, and we've got the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, which is personally my team. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get things started. We're gonna go and we're gonna break down the schedule, give you my record and everything like that. So let's go right into the college football playoffs, and let's see who are gonna make it there for the 2019-2020 season. All right, so let's just go ahead and let's talk about college football playoffs, and we're gonna start with the team that I think is gonna be number one. That's the Clemson Tigers. Clemson has everything you want on the offensive side of the ball. The unit could wind up being one of the best the sport has ever seen. Quarterback Trevor Lawrence was one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the nation at the end of his true freshman season. He's going to only get better. Receivers T. Higgins and Justin Ross are as good as any in the country. And the other targets are an embarrassment of riches. Along with Amani Rogers and incoming freshmen Frank Latson and Joe Nagata, they both have elite potential. Travis Etienne leads a dynamic group of runners, and they are several quality offensive linemen as well. The concerns lie within the defensive front seven, where the Tigers lost a stable of stars such as Dexter Lawrence, Christian Wilkins, Kellen Farrell, Austin Bryan, Albert Huggins, and others. Xavier Thomas and KJ Henry returns, though, and they are young and talented players who are ready. Defensive coordinator Brent Venables may see some early growing pains, but the offense will help them along. By the end of the year, expect Coach Dabo Swinney to have things clicking again. Now, I am reading stuff from Bleacher Report. And actually, what I will probably put all of these links down in my description box, not only in the podcast description box, but also the YouTube description box. All will be down below, so that if you guys want to check out these links yourself, you can. So let's check out Clemson's schedule. Why don't we? The Clemson, who I am predicting to be the number 1 seed in the overall college football playoffs. They start next Thursday. Next Thursday they start at Georgia Tech. Then we've got Texas A&M, we've got Syracuse, we've got the Charlotte 49ers, the North Carolina Tar Heels, the Seminoles, the Cardinals, the Eagles, the Wolford Terriers, the Wolfpack, the Demon Deacons, the South Carolina Gamecocks, and then, of course, the ACC Championship. Let me tell you guys something here. I hate the fact that teams like Clemson, like Alabama, who are so good, they go ahead and they want to play teams like Charlotte, and they want to play teams like Wofford. And I hate it because they should not be playing teams like that. I don't care that they want a cookie for a tomato can, whatever you want to call them. The fact that they want them for their what is it called? Their homecoming game. No, I don't. No, I am not a fan. I really not. I am not a fan of that. I wrote this. I did a video about this last year that I think that they need to they need to stop letting teams in the Power Five conferences. They need to stop letting them play these 1AA teams. You should not be allowed to do it. And if you're playing like Texas A&M in the SEC, I have no problem. I actually think Charlotte could be. Let me go ahead and check real quick. So actually, no, Charlotte is actually in Conference USA. So, and I've said this before that so if you want to face a team like the Charlotte 49ers, even though they are in that area of North Carolina, and they're playing all the North Carolina teams, they're playing the NC State, they're playing North Carolina, and obviously they're playing the Gamecocks. That's their main rivalry. They're playing Wake Forest Demon Deacons. They're playing all of these teams. Wofford is in North Carolina. So they're playing all of these teams right in Carolina. I have no problem with that. But the Charlotte 49ers, you need to play them at Charlotte, at their stadium, not at home. They're playing the 49ers at home. No, you play the Charlotte 49ers at their stadium. That's what you need to do. So there's more other teams like that. So, but really, I to be honest, I think other than that first one, because as of right now, they only play 2 ranked teams. Now, obviously, these teams can get better. Florida State could easily turn out to be better. So could the Louisville Cardinals. But right now, Texas A&M, who they'll play Saturday, September 7th, is ranked 12th, and the Syracuse Orange is ranked 22nd. They're the only ranked teams they're playing this year. So in my eyes, Clemson, who is the number 1 overall ranked team, should go through this schedule undefeated. And like I said, they'll be number 1. They'll be 13-0 in the college football playoff, the number 1 overall seed. Number 2 will be the Alabama Crimson Tide. Let's hear what Bleacher Report has to say about them. Alabama had plenty of defensive issues in 2018, but they were masked by an explosive offense led by Tua Tagovailoa, who also sat atop the Heisman Trophy race for most of the year until Kyler Murray swooped in and plucked it from in the 11th hour. Tagovailoa will be back for his junior season in 2019, and he'll bring with him much of his core of arsenal of weapons. Through the Crimson Tide must replace star running backs Josh Jacobs and Damian Harris, along with elite tackle Jonah Williams. There's always dynamic talent waiting in the wings. Rising sophomore Najee Harris and incoming freshman Trey Sanders look good enough to keep Alabama's running game rolling. Biletnikoff award-winning receiver Jerry Jeudy and rising sophomore Jalen Waddle lead a terrific core of receivers for Tagovailoa to utilize, and there's plenty of other options too. Defensively, the Tide probably won't miss defensive coordinator Tosh Lupo much. He left to go to the Cleveland Browns after a very uneven season at the helm of Bama's D. Whether it's co-defensive coordinator Pete Golding or someone else replacing him, he'll have a lot of talent on that side of the ball. Alabama always has great talent, but the linebackers and secondary must improve for Alabama to win the national title in 2020. A laundry list of 5-star prospects await on that side of the ball, and many of the highlights of a top-ranked 2019 class are game-ready defenders. Don't expect Coach Nick Saban to take it too kindly to finish in second. Alabama should be right back fighting for it all next year. And as we go here, let's check out their schedule. We have a game against Blue Devils, the New Mexico State Aggies, the South Carolina Gamecocks, the Southern Miss Golden Eagles, the Ole Miss Rebels, the Texas A&M Aggies, the Tennessee Volunteers, the Arkansas Razorbacks, the LSU Tigers, Mississippi Bulldogs, the West Carolina Catamounts, the Auburn Tigers, and then of course the SEC Championship. Now they are going to face they also are facing A&M just like Clemson is, ranked 12. They're facing the LSU Tigers, who are going to be ranked 6, and the Auburn Tigers, who are going to be ranked 16th. And then they're probably going to face either the Georgia Bulldogs or the Florida Gators in the SEC Championship game, who is going to be a top-tier team for them to face an SEC Championship. So even if the Alabama Crimson Tide fail to a team, like if they fail to a team like the Texas A&M or even to LSU, they still could have an opportunity to get back into the college football playoff. I'm not predicting they will lose though. I think they just like Clemson will sweep the entire season. They will go 13-0, and they'll be on their way into number 2 seed for the college football playoff. They would not have anything go. How can you not when you're facing the Western Carolina Catamounts? I don't know. And I don't know why they're facing the New Mexico State Aggies at home. They should be facing the New Mexico State Aggies again in New Mexico. They're doing it right. They're going to they're facing the Duke Blue Devils in Georgia. So that's a neutral site game. But still, they should, really, Duke Blue Devils. If you're gonna face Duke Blue Devils, you should be facing them at home. At Duke. Anything, you should be again facing New Mexico State at New Mexico State. But I've already talked about it. Same thing with Southern Miss, but I've talked enough about that. But yeah, Alabama is going to be the number 2 team in the college football playoff, according to me. I think the number 3 team on my list will be a shock to a lot of people. I'm going with the Oregon Ducks. They will make a return to the college football playoff after a couple down years after Chip Kelly left. Let's go ahead and let's talk about them. Once again from Bleacher Report. One of the 2 longest shots on this list is the Oregon Ducks. But don't sell short what Mario Cristobal is building in Eugene. The Ducks went 9-4 in 2018 and did not sniff the Pac-12 title. But with Washington losing so much on both sides of the ball and Oregon quarterback Justin Herbert returning, there is major hope in 2019. It's hard to discount the Huskies or Washington State and Stanford are all capable of doing big things. USC could have waited from its slumber, and Arizona State, with Herm Edwards on his second year, could surge as well. The Pac-12 is down, but Cristobal brought in a top 10 recruiting class. The Ducks have 2 stellar young running backs in C.J. Verdell and Travis Dye. They're going to be a part of... Okay, I lost track. I apologize. They're going to miss dynamic receiver Dylan Mitchell, who could have been a part of something special had he returned for his senior season but bolted for the NFL. Defensively, all eyes will be on top prospect Kayvon Thibodeau, the poster child for the recruiting wars Cristobal was winning for the Ducks. He leads a star group of young defenders who could bolster that side of the ball. Are the Ducks a long shot to win it all? Yes. They may not even be the favorite to win the Pac-12 title. But if you're looking for upside, look no further than this team. If Herbert takes the next step forward into superstardom, he could take Oregon a long way. And a stunner. 24/7 Ducks territory Matt Preenham reported on Wednesday that defensive coordinator Jim Leavitt would not return to the program and that the Ducks were expected to promote assistant Keith Hayward. He inherited a bunch of potential and needs to pull everything together. If he does, 2019 Ducks could be spectacular. So now let's check out what the Ducks are playing this year. We start next Saturday against the 16th Auburn Tigers. Then we got the Nevada Wolfpack, the Montana Grizzlies, the Stanford Cardinal, the California Bears, the Colorado Buffaloes, the Washington State Huskies, the Washington Huskies, the Washington State Cougars, the Trojan Horses, the Arizona Wildcats, the Sun Devils, the Oregon State Beavers, and then of course the Pac-12 champions. Now I think with playing 4 top 25 teams, the Tigers, who are 16th ranked, the Cardinal, who are Stanford Cardinal, who are ranked the 25th, the Huskies, who are ranked 13th, and the Washington State Cougars, who are ranked 23rd. They have a great opportunity, to make it here. Now, I don't think they're going to go unscathed. I think they're going to lose that first game to Auburn, but then I think they are going to run roughshod over the next 2 things. They are going to face a team in the Pac-12 championship, and then they are going to beat them. They are going to go 12-1, and then they will make it into the college football playoff. They will be the 3rd team to win. They were 13 to win. No, you can't be the 3rd team to win. They will be the 3rd team in it. So I am going with the Oregon Ducks as the 3rd team, the number 3 seed in the college football playoff. And the number 4 team to make the college football playoff, what I'm predicting, the Oklahoma Sooners. Let's once again check out Bleacher Report and just see what they got to say about the Oklahoma Sooners. Just when you thought that maybe Oklahoma was going to have a 1-year lull after Kyler Murray headed to the NFL, Coach Lincoln Riley landed college football's biggest free agent. That, of course, was Alabama quarterback Jalen Hurts, who left Tuscaloosa to play his final season in Norman and is banking on Riley and company helping him contend for a Heisman Trophy and a national title. The Sooners, of course, featured the past 2 Heisman winners in Baker Mayfield and Kyler Murray. And if Hurts can improve as much as between last year and this year as he did under Dan Enos from the time he was a sophomore until his junior year at Alabama, watch out. Marquise Hollywood Brown is gone, but OU returns a lot of receiving talent led by C.D. Lamb. The freshman trio of Jaden Hasselwood, Theo Wees, and Trajan Bridges are dynamic talents capable of playing immediately. Quarterback Spencer Rattler will be waiting in the wings to take over Hurts too. Running backs Kennedy Brooks and Trey Sermon are terrific Big 12 talents, and Oklahoma's offensive line is 32. The defense is another story. The Sooners were the 114th nationally in the season that saw Mike Stoops get fired and Ruffin McNeil not do much better. They're banking on Alex Grinch improving that side of the ball, and Oklahoma is trying to develop playmakers on that side of the ball. It's a fresh start defensively, but if they can improve just enough on that side of the ball, the offense will be good enough to take them to the playoffs yet again. Now let's go ahead and let's look at the Oklahoma City schedule for 2019, and let's see what kind of schedule that they have. Now, as we look at this, we have the Houston Cougars, the South Dakota Coyotes, the UCLA Bruins, the Texas Tech Raiders, the Kansas Jayhawks, the Texas Longhorns, the West Virginia Mountaineers, the Kansas State Wildcats, Iowa State Cyclones, the Baylor Bears, the TCU Horned Frogs, the Oklahoma City Cowboys. Thank goodness they put Bedlam back on rivalry weekend, as it should be. Oklahoma State Cowboys, and then of course the Big 12 championship game. So yeah, I think this is something that it could be interesting. They've got the 46th ranked toughest schedule in the country. Uh, their opponents have the 2019 combined record of 75 and 75 based on last season's results. So that being said, I just, I think that with only them facing the Texas Longhorns and the Iowa State Cyclones as being there now, Oklahoma State could obviously rise up and be a team to reckon with for them in that last season. But I think a combination of not only other teams like Ohio State, like Michigan in the Big Ten, teams like Notre Dame and BYU from the Independents, and other teams maybe taking maybe losing 2 games or losing games down the stretch, that will cause Oklahoma to make it. I think there's a possibility they could lose the game the Red River Shootout, against Texas on October 12th. But and there's a possibility they could also lose against Houston. Houston is one of those teams that is just, they are one of those teams that can always make a jump into the college football playoff, being a non-Power 5 conference team. So they could lose to Houston, they could even lose to Texas, but because other teams could lose at the wrong time, maybe even a team like Georgia would lose in the SEC title game to Alabama, right? That could get them with a 2-loss team being the first 2-loss team to make it into the college football playoff. However, I'm not going to predict that. I'm going to say that they lose that game to Texas, but they win all of their other games, including the Big 12 championship. They will end up 12-1. And they will end up the 4th seed in the college football playoff, the Oklahoma Sooners. But then now let's look at the bracket, right? We've had Clemson at 1, Alabama at 2, we've got Oregon at 3, and we got Oklahoma at 4. So we got Clemson and Oklahoma. I think Clemson is just going to continue their roughshod. I think Oklahoma's defense it's a Big 12 defense. They just not going. Defense players don't go to the Big 12. Offensive players do. So I just think that Clemson is just gonna smoke Oklahoma in that first game. Now Alabama and Oregon, I think, will be another team. I think offensively Oregon will be able to hang with Alabama, and I think obviously and defensively, I think they can hang with Alabama's offense as well. I think it'll be a closer game, but I think Alabama will run out and they will run away in the 4th quarter from Oregon. They will win, and then of course once again we will have Clemson and Alabama in the national title game. And I'm going to say Clemson. I just think that Trevor Lawrence and the crew, I think Dabo Swinney has, they have the right thing. They are going to just run over Alabama, as they're just going to say tempo. They're gonna try and run, anywhere from 80 to 100 plays in the game, wear down their defense, and then just run over them at the end. So I am predicting Clemson to be your back-to-back national champion in college football, national winner of 2019. The Clemson Tigers are going to be college football's new dynasty. And so I think that'll be interesting too. We'll see if that actually comes away, if that actually comes true. But that's what I'm predicting: Clemson Tigers. And now let's talk about the local teams here in Chicago. Northern Illinois Illinois, Northwestern, and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Let's start with Northern Illinois. They kick off the 2019 football schedule on Saturday, August 31st at home in DeKalb against the Illinois State Redbirds. Other non-conference games on the schedule include trips to face Utah, Nebraska, and Vanderbilt. They will obviously face teams in the MAC Conference: Ball State, Akron, Eastern Michigan, and Western Michigan at home, Ohio, Miami of Ohio, Central Michigan, and Toledo on the road. Their 2019 football schedule is ranked as 91st toughest schedule in the country. And Northern Illinois' opponents have a 2019 combined record of 70 and 80 based on last year's results. Northern Illinois is one of these teams that they also are a team like Houston. They are a team like many others that can jump their way into the college football playoff. But they would have to play more teams than the teams they're ranked. Now, don't get me wrong. The 14th ranked Utah Utes and the 24th ranked Nebraska Horncutters are going to be great games for them to play. And even playing Vanderbilt is going to be something special. But their MAC conference, unfortunately, is not. There's nobody ranked in the MAC conference, and might nobody be ranked unless it's unless there's some big time upsets in the future. What's going on with my phone? Why are you? Okay, well, whatever. So yeah, I have trust in the Northern Illinois football team. I think they are. I never would doubt them 1 second, but I don't think they have a shot. I think they will make the MAC conference, and I think they will be. They will be. I think they will be in the bidding for the top ranked team, because as some of you may know, the top ranked non-Power 5 team, they make it into one of the New Year's Six. So I think they will be in discussion for one of the New Year's Six. But I don't know. Again, I think a team like Houston could do it. I think a team like Notre Dame would be in that. Notre Dame would probably get it, and I'll get to them in a second. But I just think the Utah Utes and Nebraska Cornhuskers are going to beat them. That will be 2 of their losses, and I think they'll probably fall at some point as well, giving them a 3rd loss. And I think they'll probably be, they'll probably be 9-3 going into the MAC championship game. They'll win. They'll get 10-3, but there will be other teams ahead of them. So it meaning that they will not make a New Year's Six. But I'm going to say they will end up being 10-3 and the MAC conference winner. So good job for the Northern Illinois Huskies. Let's next go to Illinois Fighting Illini. They kick off their schedule Saturday, August 31st at home in Champaign against the Akron Zips. Other non-conference games on the schedule include at UConn and home contests against Eastern Michigan. Their Big Ten opponents will include Nebraska, Michigan, Wisconsin, Rutgers, and Northwestern at home, and Minnesota, Purdue, Michigan State, and Iowa on the road. Illinois has the 48th toughest schedule in the country. However, their opponents' combined record from last season are 73-8. That's a 47.7 winning percentage. That's kind of weird. How do you have the 48th toughest schedule, but then have teams' combined record of 73-80? I don't get that. I was a believer last year in Lovie Smith, and he proved.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
English, motherfucker. No, he proved that he just may not have the the right stuff. Well, listen, he also, I think Lovey is also one of those type of guys where he maybe felt like, this was a, coaching college kids, coaching college football is down there. He should be a pro coach. He should not be a college coach. So he may not be giving his all when it comes to recruiting and coaching and all of that stuff. So I'm not going to waste any time this year with thinking that Illinois has any type of shot of doing anything. I mean, look what they're going to do, right? I mean, they got the Nebraska Corn Huskers. Damn it, Andre, speak English.
Yeah, you did fuck that up.
The Nebraska Corn Huskers, who are ranked 24th. Michigan, who is ranked 7th. Wisconsin, who is ranked 19th. Michigan State, who is ranked 18th. Iowa Hawkeyes, who are ranked 20th. And let's not forget, Northwestern may not be ranked, but you know that Fitz is going to get Northwestern ranked by the time they get to Saturday, November 30th. So, I mean, come on. For me, this is... I don't even know if Lovie Smith is going to finish out the season. To me, they win 3 games. And the 3 games they win are the games against Akron, against UConn, and against Eastern Michigan. The teams not in their conference. They will go 3-9. The Northwestern Wildcats, go Cats. Coach Fitz and the boys start off Saturday, August 31st with a road game against Stanford. They'll face other conference games against other non-conference games against UNLV and UMass. The Big Ten opponents they'll face this year on the schedule: Michigan State, Ohio State, Iowa, Purdue, and Minnesota at home. Going to face Wisconsin, Nebraska, Indiana, and Illinois on the road. Their football schedule is the 34th toughest schedule in the country. And they have a combined record based on last season results of 80 and 72. 52.6%. Again, comparing that to Illinois, who was ranked, who was Illinois? Let's look at that again. Illinois was ranked 48th toughest with a 73 and 80 record. And Northwestern 34th toughest with an 80 and 72 record. So, and their schedule is tough. If you look at it, they've got teams up the wazoo. If you will move, they've got the Stanford Cardinal, who are ranked 25th. Michigan State Spartans, who are ranked 15th. The Wisconsin Badgers, who are ranked 19th. The Corn Huskers, who are ranked 24th. The Iowa State Buckeyes, who are ranked 5th. And the Iowa Hawkeyes, who are ranked 20th. So, I mean, and they face those teams, right? Look, so let's see here. In a span of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. In the span of the first 9 weeks of the season, they've got 2 byes and the Saturday, September 14th game against UNLV. Otherwise, the other games, Stanford, Michigan State, Wisconsin, Nebraska, Ohio State, and Iowa, are all against ranked teams. Now, obviously, things could change. It probably won't change with Stanford, because I don't think Stanford is going to play. No, Stanford's not playing this Saturday, so they still would be ranked 25th. Maybe they might be ranked a little higher, depending on what happens. But so they are going to play ranked teams 7 out of their first 6 out of their first 7 games of the season, and the first 9 weeks altogether, including 2 byes. But again, this is not Illinois, and Coach Fitz is not Lovie Smith. they may have a schedule that would glean them to be a 6-6, 7-5 team, but I have all the faith in the world that they are going to come out here and once again they're going to end up with 9-3, going into a bowl game. I have no doubt in my mind. Northwestern Wildcats are going to end up 9-3, and that's what I'm going to predict them. They will end up being 9-3, going to a bowl game this year. So, go Cats! Way to go Fitz. And now, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Of our local teams here in Chicago, they are the one. Now I know some of you guys say, "How are they a local team? How are they a local team?" Well, they're a local team because they're in South Bend, Indiana, right? But they are a local team for two reasons. One, Chicago has the most Notre Dame alums in any city in the world. In the world, the most are here in Chicago. And number two, the games are played more here in Chicago. When I was growing up, at least they were. So much so that I thought that they were actually a Chicago team. I thought they were based in Chicago. We had so many Notre Dame teams that when I was growing up, Notre Dame games, that when I was growing up, I thought that the Notre Dame Fighting Irish was a team in Chicago. Now I found out later on as I grew up that it wasn't. It was actually in Indiana, but you just always saw them. You always saw them on television. So, yeah, Notre Dame is a local team. For us here in Chicago. I know some of you guys may be listening in other parts of the world, maybe like, and watching in other parts of the world saying, why are you, first of all, you probably asking, why are you even doing local teams? Who cares about Illinois, Northern Illinois, Northwestern? But hey, I do, so please bear with me. So yeah, let's check out Notre Dame. They're going to kick off their football schedule on Labor Day, Monday, September 2nd, on the road against Louisville. Their other road games for this year include Georgia, Michigan, Duke, and Stanford. Their home schedule includes New Mexico, Virginia, Bowling Green, USC, Virginia Tech, Navy, and Boston College. Notre Dame schedule is ranked the 53rd toughest. It's one of these crazy things again. They're ranked the 53rd toughest, but their opponents' last season results has a combined record of 75-77, 49.3%. So it's one of those crazy things again, where here you are, you got the 53rd toughest schedule, but then you've got a negative, a negative, win percentage. So don't forget, Notre Dame was in the college football playoff last year. The first Power Non-5 team to make it. Although Notre Dame and BYU, Navy, and Army are different. They're different because they've won championships in the past. They've won national titles in the past. BYU and Notre Dame and Navy and Army. So even though you can say they are, they are non-Power 5 teams, I think you can say that if they would make it into the playoffs, even though technically that's what it would be, it's a totally different thing than if Northern Illinois or if the Houston Cougars or if the Boise State Broncos made it. It would be a lot different for those. And listen, you can look at this schedule and say, wow, I mean, really, you're playing the Bulldogs, who are ranked number 3, the Michigan Wolverines, who are ranked 7th, and then the last game of the season, the Stanford Cardinals, who are right now ranked 25th, who may not even be ranked, by the end of the season. And that also could be the same thing for the USC Trojans, who could step up their game this year, and they can be ranked when they meet October 12th. The same thing for the Virginia Tech Hokies. on paper, this schedule looks like if you can somehow beat Georgia and beat Michigan, Notre Dame will be in the, and not have any other losses. Obviously, Notre Dame will be the playoffs. Because how do you beat Georgia and beat Michigan and not make it, right? Especially if you go undefeated. They're not in the conference, so they have no conference games. They go 12-0. Even if they were to lose to Georgia, right, and be 11-1, you could see them making it over Oklahoma. However, like in my world, something like that. If they did lose to Georgia, I still think the SEC is going to come down to that championship game between Alabama and Georgia, and then if Georgia loses, that's going to look bad on them and their schedule. So I just think at this point, I like Notre Dame. I like the fact that they're going to go with Ian Book. Brendan Wimbush has moved on. He's at UCF now. They're going to go with Ian Book, a more prolific thrower of the football at quarterback. I think they've lost a lot of talent, Julian Love and many others, but I think one thing Brian Kelly has done is that he has replenished the talent that they lose. He does do that very good. He's a great recruiter of talent. But as we have seen, sometimes he doesn't recruit enough talent, enough that he could beat Alabama in a national championship game or hang with Clemson in the college football playoff game. And that's what I think is going to hurt him this year. They will lose to Georgia. They will lose to Michigan. They will be 10-2. And they will not make the college football playoff, but they are the one that will make one of the New Year's. They will be the team that will make it into the New Year's. And the final prediction, who is going to win the Heisman Trophy? Obviously, we've got Tua Tagovailoa, quarterback at Alabama. He was the leader up until the last couple of weeks when Kyler Murray surpassed him. Trevor Lawrence, quarterback for Clemson, he's going to start. He did not start last year. That was Kelly Bryant. He took over in the third or fourth game of the season, so he wasn't long enough. But he's going to start from day one. If he doesn't get injured, he is going to be a player. Justin Fields, the quarterback, he was 18-1. I saw yesterday on ESPN to win the Heisman. He came from Georgia. He was one of the transfers from Georgia. He went to Ohio State. Ohio State lost Dwayne Haskins to what's the name? To the NFL. So we got Jalen Hurts. Will he be the third quarterback from Oklahoma to win the Heisman? Adrian Martinez, quarterback in Nebraska. He's an underrated player that people are talking about him to win the Heisman. Jake Fromm, quarterback of Georgia. Sam Ehlinger, quarterback of Texas. The person I chose to win last year, Jonathan Taylor, the running back from Wisconsin. And of course, Justin Herbert, the quarterback at Oregon. And there are many others to think about. You can always have somebody pop out of nowhere and win it. But to me, I think it comes down to the four quarterbacks at the four teams that I have predicted to make the playoffs. Right? Tagovailoa, Lawrence, Jalen Hurts, and Justin Herbert. And I think that with my surprise being Oregon making it into the playoffs, I think that they're going to make the playoffs because of Justin Herbert. And I think he's going to have such a fantastic season that one loss is not going to be on him. It's not, and he's going to have some type of, he's going to have that game in Oregon State, or he's going to have that, that Pac-12 game where everybody says he deserves to win. And so the Heisman Trophy winner, I am predicting for 2019, Justin Herbert, quarterback, Oregon. All right, God. Thank you guys so much for watching here on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for listening on Anchor FM and all other places where my podcast is at. I appreciate that, guys, so much. Once again, if you want to support me on the podcast, you certainly can. The link is down in the description box below. You can be a 99-cent supporter, a $4.99 supporter, or a $9.99 supporter. No matter, just do what you want to do. I just so thankful that you would even want to support someone like me in my quest to be a podcaster type thing. So, and yeah, and speaking of that, depending on the way things will go, depending on the way things will go this season, because I'm having some things going now personally with like trying to get a job, so I may get a job, so things like that. So the podcast may change. The podcast might change from every other week to every week, and they also, I think it also would change from the weekend to on Mondays, so that we could talk about what went down the weekend with football, with college football and pro football. So I think there might be a change in that. And it would probably start the first full Sunday of football, week 1. So so yeah, I think that's what actually would happen if that's the way I'm thinking right now is going to go down. It's going to be on Mondays, maybe sometime like at night, sometime after, if I have a job. If I don't have a job, it'll be like early in the morning. But otherwise, it'll be like at during the nighttime. That's when the podcast will drop. So yeah. Again, if you guys want to support me, you certainly can. If you guys want to tip me, you certainly can. The link to my tip is as you can see, my tip jar, my PayPal account, is both down in the YouTube description box and also the description box for the podcast. So make sure you look down there and check it out. You can also follow me in all forms of social media. All of those are down in the description box as well. So make sure you go ahead and check that out. And once again, just want to remind as well, the links to everything that I use in this video and in this podcast will be down in the description box below. You can go ahead and check it out. Maybe actually for the YouTube, I'm actually put those links down and pin it at the first comment section. That's in the comment section, the first comment. So you should maybe look down there first. Look down there for that, so that you can check out everything that I looked at and everything I used for my video. Be down there in the box, and then of course it will be down there in the podcast description box section. So thank you guys so much for watching and listening. Thank you guys so much for being here. This is your boy AJ Tripp signing off. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. I am out. I will see you guys after the first full Sunday in the National Football League. Football is back. Oh yeah.